Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome, everybody, to this afternoon's Markets Now Wednesday market recap. Hey, good evening, Braden. Good afternoon to you, Ryan. Good to see you, buddy. Hey there, Matthew. Hey, H&C. Good to see you guys. How we all been doing then? All okay out there? Hopefully so. Good, mate. And you. Thanks, Braden. Yeah, not too bad. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, not too bad. I've been it's been so quiet. It's been so quiet these last couple of weeks in our charts. It's given me a time to catch up on other bits and pieces that have needed my attention, to be honest. So I've been kind of balancing, but I've just been spinning the plates as always, mate. Really, and nothing more I can say. Just been spinning the plates. But yeah, the market's been pretty sleepy, haven't they? And they still are. They still are. I've been wondering this afternoon of what exactly to talk about. We had the beginning of the week. We had the big surge. We had the oil shock across the markets, and we had Trump's mouth rolling the sentiment. And since then, we have not seen much of anything at all. I mean, this is the week's trading. That is the week's trading so far. So it's been a grind. It's been a real grind. Yeah. How about you guys? How's your guys' trading been? You been stuffed full of opportunities, things I haven't been noticing, or very much the same gig? Yep, it certainly has been. It certainly has been. I mean, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've remembered quiet periods in the market for sure, but God, I don't remember it being this bad. Not for this long either. We have these real sporadic economic events and geopolitical events, and then we just go into this massive range cycle, don't we? I mean, we see this all over the place, right? We get big volatility from Trump, and then diddly squat, that. And then we have big volatility from Trump, and then we have the slow period, and then big volatility from Trump, and then the slow period. It's like, it's just like that, isn't it? It's just like this across all the assets. I cannot wait until we get through the remainder of his term. That's what I'm looking forward to. So in terms of the screener today and the kind of daily percent change that we're looking at, we have the Aussie dollar, which is leading the charge at a minus 0.56% move. So our biggest mover of the day is the Aussie against the US dollar. And that is the biggest mover of the day so far. Bearing in mind, we're at the US FX Open right now. This is the market open for the FX markets and the commodities markets. So, yeah, it really does go to sum up where we're at, doesn't it? It really does. We don't have any economic drivers this week, as we've been covering throughout the week so far. We don't have anything else really driving this price action. It's just coming down to waiting and being on hold for Trump's next move, which is it's incredible the amount of power that he holds over the markets. It really is, if you think about it. One man, and he just genuinely does consume market sentiment. We have had some interesting things happen on the equity side of the markets, however. There has been some movement over in some of the equities, not in the DJI. Let's go down to the Russell here, get broad spectrum. So yeah, we've been having some pretty big moves in the tech services industry. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a wall of red. Lots of big movers. We got APP down 5%, CRM's down 6.28%. This one here as well. Now we've got now telecoms. That one's down 5.68%. We've got CRWD. This one's down 5%. The big one as well, part of the Magnificent Seven group, Google, Microsoft, minus 2.68, minus 3.85. Definitely some stuff going on here. Palantir Technologies, my call for the week, is actually down today, minus 3.77%. So let's go and check. Let's go and check that out quick. So pre-market. Look at the pre-market team. It's down 3. What did we just say it was? Down 3.77%. Pre-market's trading at 157.91. That's a real nice bid. Obviously, you know, unless you hold a pretty high ranking account, you're not going to get access to the pre-market too much. But nevertheless, still looks very good. And we're actually back 2%. So when that opens up, we should see a Palantir Technologies not down very far at all. But I think, you know, where it closed yesterday was a pretty nice buy sign for that move back up to 192 as per the weekly reports trading opportunity. It's trading back at 158 at the moment, but the chances are it could range down here for a while. So we may see market come back up to this high, maybe come back down again, test out the 152, 150 area. And then you could just buy, you know, I don't know, however much 50 quid's worth of your fractional shares and ride the wave out for a couple of weeks. It's a decent move between A and B. I mean, you're looking at 25, 26% move up to those previous highs. So not too bad at all. In other news, we have some movement in gold today. I think that's worth a notable call out. It hasn't actually moved in our trading session, but it did over, you know, last night, 8:15, did have the really nice big surge, and then throughout the evening until about 2 o'clock in the morning, it topped out. But it was a really nice move, nevertheless. Unfortunately, though, team, I mean, you know, we're all looking at the same chart here. This is what we've had to deal with throughout our trading session today, which is very unimpressive, unfortunately. I think at this moment in time, there is a worthwhile area here that we could consider trading away from. I mean, this is that's a break of structure right there, but we've got multiple retests of this area going on. I mean, if we look for, let's say, an intraday BOS, let's say about here, that's a nice structural point. Happy taking a trade above that one. Target profit, I mean, do we want to be really optimistic and look for the move back up to the previous highs? I don't think it's very safe to do so, especially in the climate that we're trading at the moment. But looking at this high in here makes a very, very short version of it. But nevertheless, a nice little trade. Nice little trend continuation trade. I mean, the risk reward on that one's not going to be too bad. I'd say a 1 to 2.8. So what are we looking at? Maybe 1 to 2.9. Yeah, 1 to 2.8, 1 to 2.9. Somewhere around there. That's a nice little trade. Really nice. We just need to clear out the highs in there, and then away we go. So I'd be happy with that one. Not really looking for any shorts in gold for a little while. It needs to clear through this low, and then we could possibly look to take it back down at the previous lows there, which would be a viable option, but we're nowhere near that yet. So we'll sit on our hands with that one. Moving on, let's have a look at, I'm not really fancying UK Brent US crude at the moment. It's interesting that the market's stalled down here. Makes me think that maybe my positioning for the liquidity was just slightly out. So maybe that's it there. But I wouldn't consider these to be, you know, reaching into the bite point. I still believe that if I'm going to take a long in the range here, that this area is going to be the one that I'm really wanting to see achieved. So price to traverse its way down, reach this area in here, and then get the buyback back up to the previous highs. The breaker structure for this trade, that's a great question. Maybe looking at around this area. So then your trading opportunity is going to be a buy, a target at 103.64 with a stop loss at about the 50% point about there. That's going to 50% point between this and this area, I mean. And that's going to yield you around a 1 to 2.8 as well as it happens. But that's not a bad trade. But remember that the red, let's mark out the red circle. This is mandatory, okay? We definitely need the market to come down further into liquidity before we get the buyback, because at the moment we run the risk of being in a retail trap. The market could just come back up again. We'll trigger the trade, and then it does go down there to grab the liquidity before going on. So we'll have a stab at that one as well. Nothing to note on natural gas at the moment, unfortunately. We have come down to this area, which is the area that we were looking for a rejection from. So the first stage of the market report trade idea is now achieved. We had the nice big sell-off. It did wobble for a little while before coming into liquidity, but it is there now. I did say, well, as you can see here, the plan's already laid out before us from the market report that if we did come down to this point in liquidity, then we would be aiming to buy natural gas back up to around 312. I do still believe in that trade. I'm just wondering if it's prudent to have both at the same time. Let's have a look at the risk reward ratio on this one. I think it's going to be very stop loss dependent. So if we have our target profit up at around 311, if we have where's that going to be? What? I tell you, these things, it's all a coincidence, I swear, but it's so weird when you're looking at a multitude of different trading opportunities and they all have the same risk reward ratio. So that's about a 1 to 2.8 there as well. And I would absolutely have to have the stop loss below that low, because that really does encompass the point of, the anchor point there as well. It's really nicely deep into liquidity. If the market does break through this low, then the chances are we're going for a 2.8 run, retest, and then continuation. So I think that's a really prudent place to have the stop loss. I mean, this would be a 0.25 trade as well as normal. There's no need to reduce the risk on it. But it's a good place of liquidity to buy in from. If you look at the daily, it gives you a real good picture of why we want to buy from there. So, looking at that area in there, that's the big point of liquidity for the daily time frame. The major reversal area, admittedly, is at 265, but we have come down to this area numerous times. And if we go back in time, look at the amount of times that we've come down to this area with the commercial knee-jerk reaction. Look at this area. Dip our toes in the water. Boom. Huge move in the opposite direction. Same as this area. Really nice rally straight up into liquidity. And boom. Big move away. Nice big full-bodied bars. Lots of commercial trading activity. So it does make sense to have a buyback from there. And we're not looking for anything too significant, not looking for anything too over optimistic. It's actually a very modest trade. We're only looking to take it back up to, a single decent day's worth back up to 311. And then we are potentially going to look at the continuation of that afterwards, but I won't be holding the trade. So in essence, that looks pretty good. So we'll load up that one. We will load it up anyway. In terms of the FX space, I mean, for those of you who aren't with me on a daily basis here at the UTC and under the UTC members subscription, we have actually been really quiet, team. So there's no housekeeping to do. We haven't got any ongoing FX positions this week. Just because the markets just aren't moving at the moment. There's nothing really to trade in the FX space that's worth my time, and therefore anyone else's. We've had a couple of outliers. So we've had like little runs like this, very, very, very little runs. They have historically, over the course of the last couple of weeks, taken place in the Asia sessions as well. And then when it gets to European trading hours, we're left with a bunch of this. So from 8 a.m. right there until midnight right there. That is the day's trading that we had in the USD CAD, for example. So it's a little bit of a confusing one, really. A lot of this. I mean, Matthew said it, so choppy he feels dizzy. Yeah, it's pretty much like that at the moment. I don't really feel the drive to be in anything FX related right now. There's just nothing that really drives me to want to be in it at the moment. So I think we'll give that one a pass. We've got short in the metal markets. We've got a gold short. We've got long in UK Brent, long in natural gas. So I was going to say we don't have a short in gold. That's a long. Put the wrong tag on it. Sorry, guys. We got a long in gold, which is what it should be. A long in UK Brent, a long in natural gas, and I suppose we'll just move on our way up to the US indices. So please be aware that at the moment the indices, all of the markets, frankly, are very, very exhausted. Trump and his big mouth have tired investors out. So when you get very sleepy markets, very tired markets like this, you're going to get you're going to get a great deal of ranging, a lot of tight consolidation periods, and then sporadic irrationality moves, which are the big, booming moves like this, followed up with a lot of sleepiness. With the US Opens in the way they've been, I mean, we're on Wednesday now, so we've been through 2 full US Opens. Haven't really been seeing the kind of follow through or conviction that we want to see. So, for example, like yesterday's trading hours, I mean, we opened up the market at 1:30. That is this candlestick here. And then the end of that trading session for me, it's usually about 3:30, 4 o'clock. That was about there, for example, right? So that bit of price action was my US Open yesterday, and same as everyone else. So it's very, very difficult trying to make the trades happen within these very, very small periods of consolidation and choppy price action. So that's the kind of thing that we should anticipate is going to happen. Good afternoon to you, Core Tim. Good to see you, mate. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and sort of filter down the margins and going to focus purely on that 1 minute time frame. So we've got our ceiling up there. We've got a potential floor down here. And those are the 2 margins that we're going to work with down to the 1 minute time frame. And this is where the action's going to happen. So if it breaks above or below one of these areas, we're not going to be interested. The chances are it's probably going to be a fake out. If it's not, then that is what it is. No problem at all. We haven't lost anything anyway. But I would like to think that we will be able to grab a trade or two within these margins. So we're going to utilize this area. That's going to be the breakout for the long. That's going to be the breakout for the short. So let's drag these across. We've got the rejection from the highs followed up by the short down there. Target profit above there. It's going to be a 1 to 2.8. Of course it is. I'm not doing this on purpose, I swear. It's just the nature of what we got at the moment. So that's going to be the rejection trade. And if we are looking at a long, that's going to be the entry there. A target profit up at the highs and a stop loss. Where are we going to have the stop loss on this one? We're not going to be able to beat all of these areas in price, but I think I'm happy going for maybe a 1 to 2.5 just so that we can incorporate these 2 highs. And that's as good as we're going to get it. So that's going to be our NAS 100 for the afternoon. Now, US 30 Dow Jones. Let's go up to the 15-minute anchor chart. Have a look at what's going on. So again, very, very tight consolidation period in here. We've got this area in here, which is the ceiling. We've got the floor, which is in there. Very similar again to all of the others. Go down to the 1 minute time frame. Not bad trading margins for a 1 minute chart, to be honest. That's all looking pretty good. I'd say that that's a strong area for a breaker structure for the long. And for the short, probably, I would say about there, which is quite aggressive, actually. But it is a good one, so we'll stick to it. Okay, so we've got the nice breaker structure up here for the short. Nice breaker structure down here for the long. We're looking for liquidity rejections. So we've actually just had one starting from this low. The next point of call is the high. And then we're looking for the rejection back down again. So we don't know if the market's going to come back down, but we cannot take the trade at where it is at the moment. Okay, it's not going to work. So we have to start with the short. So that's going to be about there. I mean, you could get an insanely decent risk-reward ratio on that one because we're beating both of these highs with the stop loss where it is there. And that's a 1 to 3.5. So really nice, healthy trade idea, that one. And then we're looking at the buyback. If the market comes down here and then continues trading long, we're again looking at a relatively decent trade, maybe a 1 to 2.75, doesn't it? Looks like. So, yeah. Okay, let's get rid of that. Yeah, so that's a pretty decent one as well. So 1 to 2.75 on the long. That's why I'd be looking out for that long on the Dow Jones as well. Let me just mark that out. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it really, team. Short and sweet. No point wasting time, is there? So, just to conclude then, natural gas UK Brent long. gold long and US indices, both the US 30 Dow Jones and the NAS 100 with mixed bias. So we'll be able to take trades on either side of the range. I'm hoping that across everything that we've got, we'll be able to get at least a couple of winners off and get some figures on the board. Because at the moment, it's been dreadfully slow, painfully slow, as I'm sure everyone will appreciate. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Are there any questions or anything, ladies and gents? I don't mind having a look at something for you guys if there's anything of interest or anything at all. No, thank you, Braden. Yeah, Braden, you are most welcome, my friend. No problem at all. Cora Tim, could you please upload the trade ideas? Yes, sir. I certainly will. Yeah, I certainly will, mate. No problem at all. That'll be in the... I'll put these trade ideas in the general chat for the general members, and they will also go to the UTCF updates as well. Okay? All right then, team. No worries. Well, listen, have a good one. Take care of yourselves out there. Remember, don't go crazy this week. It's not the week for it. It's the week for taking a break, taking your foot off the gas, resting up. The markets will improve. They always do. And we've just got to get through the slog at the moment to make it through to the other side. All right? We're all in it together. We're all in it together. So take care, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.